The tension between Jin-Woo and the ice elf intensified as if the very air had thickened with the weight of impending conflict. But before the tension could snap into battle, the ice elf interrupted the moment with a casual smirk, his voice cutting through the cold air. "Worry, human, you won't lose anything." The elf's tone remained light, but the gleam in his eyes was anything but friendly. The playfulness in his posture shifted as he prepared to engage in a different kind of conversation, one that would reveal more about the strange connection between him and the boy. "Let me ask you something first, human. What are you doing here among mere mortals when you yourself are not human?" Jin-Woo's eyes narrowed, confused by the elf's question. His response was blunt, almost incredulous. "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" The ice elf's grin widened, amused by the boy's reaction. "Do you not understand?" he said, his voice suddenly turning serious. "The voice in our heads constantly orders us, commands us to kill, to destroy. We follow it without question. Until now, when I am near you, I hear no voice. I am free from its influence." Jin-Woo's mind raced, his thoughts turning over the implications of the elf's words. Could it be that the system was behind the voice that the elf mentioned? If so, what did that mean for him? Was he part of the system as well? The ice elf continued, his expression darkening as he explained further. "I don't want to fight or sacrifice anyone, but..." His gaze locked onto Jin-Woo with a new intensity. "If you want to stay alive, just give me those behind you. The low-ranking hunters will do. They won't be a problem to me, and in return I will spare you." Jin-Woo's eyes flashed with defiance, his voice cold as he responded. "Then I have one question for you." The ice elf's smile faltered for a moment as he waited for the boy's query. "Who are you? Where did you come from? What do you want?" The ice elf seemed to hesitate, his smile fading for the briefest moment. His eyes seemed to glaze over, and a sudden twitch passed through him, causing Jin-Woo to sharpen his focus. Something was off, but the ice elf quickly recovered, resuming his previous calm demeanor. "We don't wish for sacrifices. We don't want to fight." His words seemed rehearsed, but his insistence on not answering Jin-Woo's question gave the boy a sense of unease. The shift in the elf's behavior, his avoidance of Jin-Woo's question, left the boy more curious than ever. "You're ignoring my question," Jin-Woo thought to himself. "There's something you're not saying." The ice elf, sensing the boy's frustration, interrupted once again. "Just give us the ones behind you and all of this will be over. I will keep you alive. For now." Jin-Woo, already irritated by the elf's arrogance and cryptic answers, shook his head firmly. "I refuse. I don't care if we end up fighting. I will not surrender my people to you." The ice elf's expression shifted into a more serious one, his voice lowering as he studied Jin-Woo. "So you plan to fight me and my entire army?" Jin-Woo met his gaze without flinching, his resolve hardening. "I will stand against you all if I must." The ice elf's smile returned, albeit more insidious this time, as he sized up his opponent. "We'll see how long that confidence lasts, human. But be warned, this won't be an easy fight." The challenge hung in the air, and the tension between them finally snapped. A battle was now inevitable. The tension grows in the air as the low-ranking hunters stand frozen, overwhelmed by the sight of Jin-Woo's summoned army. The dark knights, their ominous silhouettes casting long shadows, and the imposing dark ice bears, their monstrous forms exuding an aura of raw power, stand like an unmovable wall around the group. The atmosphere is thick with fear, but it's not directed toward Jin-Woo himself. It's the sheer presence of his army that instills dread in their hearts. The green-eyed girl watches in awe, her mind racing as she takes in the chaotic scene. The dark ice bears massive and formidable tower over the group, while the dark knights, cloaked in the eerie shadows, remain motionless, their eyes glowing faintly as they survey the surroundings. The presence of these creatures is enough to make the air feel heavier, their very existence like a reminder of the vast power Jin-Woo commands. The low-ranking men, their faces pale, exchange nervous glances, trying to come to terms with what they've just witnessed. One man, trembling, finds himself in the presence of a group of dark ice bears, the largest one looming over him, its form blocking out the light and casting an intimidating shadow on the ground. He can feel the intense pressure, as if the bear could crush him with a single swipe. Another man standing nearby locks eyes with Igris, the dark knight who stands just behind Jin-Woo. The dark knight's cold, calculating gaze sends a chill down his spine. He swallows nervously, his throat dry as he lowers his gaze, fearing that even the slightest movement might provoke the shadow warrior. The ice elf's wide grin remains as he observes the unfolding chaos, clearly amused by the boy's display of power. He does not hesitate to taunt Jin-Woo, his voice dripping with disdain. "Is that all you've got? A cheap trick like this?" The ice elf mocks as he watches the battle escalate. His gaze sweeps across the battlefield, and though his words are dismissive, there is a flicker of concern hidden beneath the surface. Jin-Woo, unfazed, mirrors the ice elf's grin. His voice, though calm, carries an edge of challenge. "A cheap trick, you say? I believe I've heard that same phrase somewhere. Tell me, where was it?" "Oh yes, I remember now. From someone who underestimated me." As soon as his words fall, the battle truly begins. The air grows thick with the clash of blades and the eerie growls of the summoned shadows. Jin-Woo's army of shadows, including the mighty Igris, charge into the fray with precision and power. Despite the ice elves' numerical advantage, Jin-Woo's forces are a terrifyingly efficient counter. Igris, the dark knight, swings his sword with lethal grace. His movements are fluid and calculated, effortlessly blocking and countering the ice elves' attacks. Several ice elves attempt to work together trying to overpower him with sheer numbers, but Igris is not so easily overwhelmed. His sword moves with uncanny speed, slicing through the air with deadly accuracy, knocking back his attackers with each strike. In the midst of the battle, several ice elves fall. Their bodies hit the ground with a sickening thud, blood staining the cold earth beneath them. Each death only serves to fuel the shadows' relentless assault, their eerie forms closing in on the remaining ice elves. The boy Jin-Woo watches the battle unfold with cold, calculating eyes. He knows the odds are in his favor, but that doesn't mean the fight will be easy. Every strike from the ice elves is met with a calculated counter from his shadows, each attack seeming to hit its mark with deadly precision. The ice elves fight back fiercely, their powers unpredictable and dangerous. But Jin-Woo is a force unto himself, an unstoppable tide that washes over them, his army growing ever stronger as each ice elf falls. The battle rages on, but it's clear that Jin-Woo is in control, his will and his shadows ensuring that victory is all but certain. Jin-Woo stands motionless, watching the battle unfold with a growing sense of unease. The low-ranking hunters, realizing they're out of their depth, quickly scatter in all directions, seeking to escape the chaos. Their survival instinct kicks in as they flee from the monstrous battle that's rapidly escalating around them. The boy doesn't pay them any attention. His focus remains solely on the ice elves and the army of shadows he has summoned. His thoughts race as he observes the battle from the sidelines. The ice elves are proving to be more formidable than he anticipated. He thought his dark shadows would be enough to overwhelm them, but the ice elves aren't just powerful, they're organized, coordinated, and relentless. Despite the immortality of his shadows, they can't keep up with the sheer power and cunning of the ice elves. With each passing moment, more of his shadows are destroyed, their bodies dissipating into mist as they fall. Jin-Woo clenches his fists. This isn't a mere skirmish. This is a real fight. A fight I can't win on my own. He realizes with a sinking feeling that the battle is slowly slipping out of his control. The ice elf leading the charge watches the destruction unfold with a smug smile, clearly enjoying the chaos. His eyes gleam with confidence, and Jin-Woo can sense that this opponent is not someone he can take lightly. The ice elf is no mere monster. He's a tactician, a skilled warrior in his own right, and Jin-Woo begins to acknowledge that this battle will be a much tougher fight than he originally thought. Despite the strength of his army, the boy knows that simply relying on his shadows won't be enough to win this fight. His thoughts shift to the situation unfolding before him. Even with Igris at his side, their combined strength may not be sufficient to defeat this ice elf and his army. Jin-Woo's gaze shifts to Kim Chul, who lies motionless in the snow after the brutal blow he received. His body is still, and it's clear that the man is incapacitated, unable to continue the fight. The boy's heart races as the realization hits him. I need something more. I need a stronger shadow. His thoughts turn inward, seeking the power that lies dormant within him. He knows that to overcome this formidable enemy, he must summon a shadow powerful enough to turn the tide of battle. But the question remains, where will that power come from? The ice elf's grin widens as he senses Jin-Woo's unease. He can feel the boy's growing desperation, and he relishes in it, taunting him with his words. Do you really think your shadows can win against me? The ice elf says, his voice dripping with amusement. You may be strong, but you are still just a boy. You can't hope to defeat me and my army. Jin-Woo's eyes narrow in determination. He refuses to let this be the end. With a steely resolve, he focuses his energy, his mind sharpening like a blade. He will find the strength he needs, no matter the cost. Sung Jin-Woo's chest rises and falls with the weight of the battle. With quick thinking and precise action, Jin-Woo had used the sword he found lying on the ground, launching himself into the air with the intention of delivering a fatal strike. But Baruka, with his unmatched agility, evades the attack with ease, his confidence unshaken. The boy's dagger strikes the snow, a powerful blow that loses its momentum before it can make contact. Jin-Woo's eyes narrow in frustration. He hadn't expected such a deft defense from the ice elf. The battle has only just begun, and already Jin-Woo can feel the gap in strength between them. Baruka's keen awareness and calculated moves put the boy on the back foot, forcing him to rethink his strategy. But giving up is not in Jin-Woo's nature. The ice elf, ever so composed, continues to play the game of combat like a master chess player. As Jin-Woo piles on strength for a follow-up strike, Baruka steps back with deliberate precision, avoiding the blow and leaving the boy to stumble forward off balance. Seizing the moment, Baruka strikes. His kick sends Jin-Woo flying through the air, crashing into the snow with a violent thud. The impact is jarring. Jin-Woo feels the sting of the cold bite into his skin, but his spirit refuses to be broken. He growls under his breath, the force of the kick ringing through his body. This elf isn't just strong, he's reading my every move. Despite the pain, the boy's gaze sharpens, his focus intensifying. He rolls onto his feet with determination, blood running hot in his veins. This battle is not over. He takes a few steps back, eyes locked onto the ice elf. He grips his dagger tighter, knowing that the next move will be crucial. Baruka watches with cold amusement, clearly enjoying the challenge. You're quite resilient, boy, he says, his voice taunting. But it won't be enough. The ice elf's grin fades slightly as he looks up, momentarily distracted by the powerful magical aura that suddenly envelops the battlefield. The magical energy radiates from above, a force that draws his attention despite his earlier confidence. He narrows his eyes, sensing something significant approaching. The magical energy culminates in a massive explosion as a powerful force crashes into the ground, obliterating the trees around it. The very earth trembles as the shockwave spreads, knocking over some of the nearby monsters. From the dust and debris of the impact, a figure slowly rises. The man drags something heavy in front of him, his movement strained as he struggles to regain his strength. He stumbles but slowly gains his footing, his anger beginning to bubble up. His mind is still hazy fragments of the battle before his blackout flashing before him. His vision clears and he realizes with sudden clarity that the voice he'd heard belongs to none other than Jin-Woo, the boy he had been facing off against. Fury surges through him. So it's him, the one who summoned that blast, he thinks. He grits his teeth and reaches down, feeling for something on the ground. His hand grasps the familiar hilt of a sword, the weight of it solid and reassuring in his grip. A plan forms in his mind, the realization dawning that this could be his chance to strike back at the boy who's been toying with him. Without hesitation, he seizes the weapon, his fingers tightening around the hilt. His anger flares as he prepares to confront the boy, to make him pay for the humiliation and frustration he's felt so far in this battle. The battle takes an unexpected turn as Jin-Woo stands firm, unmoved by the chaotic eruption of flames around him. The ice elf's reckless attack bursts through the flames, but the boy remains still, his gaze unwavering. There's a certain coldness to Jin-Woo's demeanor, as if he's waiting for the perfect moment to strike. His confidence only grows as the ice elf nears his speed, undeterred by the flames. But just as the ice elf prepares to strike, a voice calls out from the sidelines. The green-eyed girl shouts at him, warning Jin-Woo of the second threat approaching, Kim Chul, who is charging towards him with all his anger and aggression. Kim Chul, mad with fury, seems intent on settling his grudge, believing that Jin-Woo is his target now. Jin-Woo, however, remains unfazed. He knows exactly what to expect. His face doesn't show any sign of panic, only a quiet realization that this confrontation is already planned out. He's not alone. Behind him, his shadows are waiting for the right moment to strike. He anticipated Kim Chul's actions, knowing that the highly ranked hunter would rush in, recklessly underestimating the boy's control over his army. Kim Chul charges forward, unaware of the trap that's been set. The ice elf, sensing something unexpected, shifts his gaze with shock and confusion. He had expected to deal with Jin-Woo alone, but now a new high-ranking hunter arrives, adding complexity to the situation. The ice elf's attention falters, and he realizes too late that he's not the only one after Jin-Woo's life. In that moment, Jin-Woo's subordinates, his shadows, spring into action. From behind the massive Igris appears a towering figure of dark might. With his blue flames burning brightly, Igris drives his weapon into Kim Chul's back with precision and strength, delivering a blow that the hunter never saw coming. Kim Chul chokes on his own blood, the realization dawning on him that he's fallen into a trap he can't escape from. His anger is palpable even as his life slips away, but he is powerless to retaliate. Jin-Woo stands with his back to Kim Chul, not even sparing a glance for the dying man. Whether it's from the front or behind, he's always surrounded by enemies, and he knows he must remain vigilant every second. The shadows obey him, each move calculated and precise. As Kim Chul's life fades, the boy's icy, emotionless gaze shifts toward him for a brief moment. The blue flames in his eyes burn cold, a silent acknowledgement of the hunter's blunder. Kim Chul's anger turns to desperation as he chokes on his blood, realizing that he has sealed his own fate. The majestic Igris stands over him, watching with burning eyes, a silent testament to the boy's power and control. The highly ranked hunter's last thoughts are filled with regret as he realizes that his hasty actions have led to his demise. There's no escaping the consequences of his foolishness. Jin-Woo, however, is already focused on the next step, his shadows waiting for the next command. The battle is far from over. The ice elf watches with a smirk, taking in the sight of Kim Chul's demise, but his expression quickly shifts to one of amusement and confidence. He laughs, madly convinced that the outcome of this battle won't change, that despite the boy's shadows and his growing strength, nothing will tip the scales in Jin-Woo's favor. The boy remains silent, his face unreadable, his eyes still sharp, observing his opponent. He takes no immediate action, letting the moment linger. Slowly, a subtle shift in the atmosphere begins to unfold. A dark presence starts to form behind him, an eerie, suffocating blackness emanating like a storm cloud, gathering its strength. And then, without warning, the long-anticipated command slips from his lips, simple but powerful: rise. At the boy's command, the ground trembles. Shadows stir and awaken from their slumber. The air seems to grow colder, the atmosphere thick with the power that Jin-Woo is unleashing. His army now more than ever responds to his call, rising in full force. The Dark Knight's shadow beasts and other creatures that serve him appear in great numbers, emerging from the shadows and charging into the fray. The ice elf's confident grin falters for a fraction of a second, his eyes narrowing in recognition. This is a turning point, a moment when the boy's full potential is laid bare. The ice elf thought he could control the situation, but now he is faced with the overwhelming power of Jin-Woo's shadows, and the game has changed entirely. With his army now rising, Jin-Woo prepares for the next stage of the battle, his presence commanding respect and fear. The boy's smile remains faint but unwavering, knowing that the ice elf's arrogance may soon cost him everything. The ice elf may have underestimated him, but now the tables have turned. The real fight is only just beginning.